Welcome back, everyone. Team, just a reminder, if you can like, subscribe, do any of that good stuff, it helps me keeping this content out there and be much appreciated. So this episode, I'm going to take a look at the most common things people won't tell you about your prac experience. Number one, you're observed all the time. Doesn't matter if it's your mentor, teacher, the students, the other staff in the school, whether you like it or not, you're going to be on display at all the time. Now, that can be pressure for some people. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be pressure for most people, but knowing that and consciously understanding that, just make sure you stay professional at all times. Okay, whether you're obviously in the classroom, working with other staff members in the staff room, just simple things, be respectful, not that it's going to happen, but don't entertain any drama amongst staff or anything like that. Just do what you can, use your common sense when you're dealing with, the school environment. Okay, because your prac's going to be at least a couple of weeks, if not months long. You want to go to a place every day where you feel welcome and accepted, and that's going to happen by how you hold yourself and how you interact with the school community as a whole. So number two, you will feel like you are failing. It's going to be common. Even when you get through your prac into your first couple of years of teaching or beyond, you're going to feel like you're failing on it might be on a consistent basis. I mean, I've had days back to back, weeks, it can feel like you're going south, but you do come through it. Okay, talked about in previous videos, you do bounce back, it will get better, but that feeling of overwhelm, that's going to stand out for you. Just don't try, plan for it not to happen, just be prepared when it is happening. Okay, all that is going to happen. Don't go crazy though with your planning. Don't be sitting there spending hours on the perfect plan. Spend more time trying to make relationships with the students and your staff members and that school community as a whole. Your mentor isn't going to expect perfection, but they are going to expect growth. So as long as you're consistently putting the work in and doing the 1% or growing 1% each day, that's going to be important. Okay. Debrief your lessons honestly. So whether you sit there and have a written feedback or you do it with your mentor, don't just assume or don't just look for all the good things. How I work with pre-service teachers is focus on two good things or two things that went well and then one thing the teacher can do to improve. Okay, and that goes both ways, me as a mentor as well. My job is to get more teachers and good teachers into the profession. That's what I care about. So me as a mentor, I'm constantly looking for ways to improve myself. So having that open dialogue with my pre-service teachers, as well as your mentor as well, that's going to help grow you as a teacher. Okay, number three, students know you're a prac teacher, so they're going to test you. My initial pracs, I was young, 23, said it before, looked like I was about 16, 17 years old, so you're up against it to start with, but and I'll keep going over it, just realise that's you're in the deep end to start with. It does get easier. Like anything, the more you do it, it will get better. But the students are especially going to test you, and that's part of it, and one thing that I guess through me when I was on one of my pracs is I'll be dealing with this class and my mentor teacher is a strong teacher. He'd been teaching for a while and that class in particular was towards the end of the year. So he'd built up the relationship and rapport with the students, but I was having problems with one of the students who, when I observed previous week's lessons with my mentor teacher, that student was incredible with, so I couldn't, or my initial reaction, my initial thought was to take it on and go, look, I'm doing something wrong, I'm not good enough, do I deserve to be a teacher? All that doubt starts going through your head. But, I could have sat there and keep spiraling, I guess, but you take your way out of it. Sat down with my mentor teacher, said, look, I observed you when you were working with a student, you were working well. Obviously, I'm going through some things now with that student. What would you recommend some strategies? And the mentor teacher, more times than not, is going to have useful tips to go to. So don't be afraid. You don't have to know it all on prac. You're going to barely know anything, but as long as you are trying to improve each time, that's what it's going to be important. So things like establish consistent routines, how the students enter the room, what do they do for the first 10, 15 minutes, seating plans, all that stuff. The more we structure for the unknown, the better the kids will feel. The students learn names fast, Okay, if it's a big class, learn 2 to 3 kids' names a lesson, more if you can, and have special ways to deal with that situation. So for me, when I learn students' names for the first time, I repeat it in my head a few times to myself just to make sure it gets into my brain. And my final point is a little one that's a bit out of left field, but the power's in reflection. Okay, take about what really matters. As I said, it's up to you how you want to format it or how you want to go about it, but every lesson's a way to improve. So it might just be 2 things that went well, 1 thing you need to improve on. Okay, it could just be you writing to yourself. Most mentor teachers will give you informal feedback after a lesson, certain amount of lessons, most lessons, whatever it happens to be, whatever your understanding is with your mentor at the time. But, use that as well. Sometimes it's hard to get feedback, but don't just think you can't grow from that. If it's, not the best feedback, just talk to your mentor teachers. Find ways you can improve. Celebrate the little things. Student says, thank you. A transition runs smoothly. You adapt to a lesson that's starting to fall apart. All those things about staying in the moment, which more and more these days in teaching, which is going to become crucial. So, look, in reflection, teaching Prac is hard. There's going to be a lot going on. Stay professional, get your routine set up, learn students' names, okay, have your reflection process there. Do anything you can to, build a strong foundation to make it a successful Prac. Okay, if you don't have a successful Prac, it's not the end of the world. But if you've got any comments down below, let me know how your Prac experiences went. I appreciate your time.